Hi, my name is AJ Nelson. I found out of Coast to Coast from my parents.
Hi, I'm Josh Nelson. I found out about Coast to Coast from giving a speech at the Burlington stop last year.
Hi, my name is Rena Nelson, and we're familiar with Coast to Coast. Josh did a speech last year in Burlington during the Sears National Kids Cancer Ride.
Hi, my name is Drew Nelson, Josh's father. Same thing, we found out about the Coast to Coast when Josh was asked to do a speech just to enlighten and inspire the riders that were coming through from Vancouver and stopping in Burlington. Well, when Josh started the training, it was a difficult process because he didn't walk very well, so it was trying to a daily push to get him to work on a trainer, something that he hadn't done before. So once he got a little bit more strength and a little bit more stamina into it, when the warmer weather came upon us and he was able to actually get out onto the tandem bike with his coach Drew, they were able to work a little harder, push themselves a little bit more, getting themselves prepared for when they started to join the group up in just east of Thunder Bay. And then the day that they were up there that we met the team, and it was a very chilly morning. I think it was only about 2 degrees, but we were pumped. We were just beside ourselves with excitement, and the riders were just starting to stumble out of their sleeping bags, and just to sort of see them trying to wipe the sleep out of their eyes and get fresh and breakfast going, and then they started with the dedication, which just brought us all to tears because we hadn't experienced any of that yet. And then, Rena was running around taking pictures, and I was just kind of stepping back, watching everything happen, and I just broke down. It was just more than I could handle. And then to see Josh and Drew ride away, they were the first ones because they being on the tandem, they needed a little bit more space to start. And seeing them ride away, and then all the riders rode after them, Rena and I just looked at each other and grabbed each other, big hug, and just cried. It was just something that's like, okay, here we go. This is the first day of what this whole event is going to be. And basically it was crying for the next 5 or 6 days constantly. But the team that Josh was on was fantastic. The riders, I consider them all brothers and sisters. It was way more than I thought it was ever going to be. It's fantastic.
We were like a big family, but I like to call it a dysfunctional family because they all had their likes and dislikes, and they all had their quirks, but it was a wonderful, wonderful team, a wonderful experience that we had no idea what we were getting into from day one, and just experience it along with Josh. We weren't sure we were going to be able to watch him do this, and for them to allow us to just follow behind and see every pedal stroke that he took, and it was just incredible. There are no words to describe the feeling that we experienced during this ride. And like Drew said, it's an amazing group of people. What they do is beyond words. To dedicate an entire year of their lives to a cause that's obviously very close to our hearts is just something undescribable. Josh is a very good speaker. He usually has the thoughts in his head of exactly what he wants to say, and between Drew and I, we help him finesse the words. They are his own ideas. We just help him put it into a little more of a flow. But to be honest with you, he's given 30, 40 speeches in the last 7 years since he's been sick, during for different organizations. This is the first time he's ever cried himself. And that just goes to show you the power of this event, the power that this event has, or what this event means to him. Just the people themselves. He put it was a little bit more of a personal speech this time because he did actually include names of people that he did ride with. And, we kind of held back and started to write the speech closer to the end of his ride because we wanted to include those personal stories, make it a little bit more event related versus just his personal his personal story. But like I said, this was the first time that he cried himself, and I think that's what made it a lot more emotional for everybody else.
For me, last year, I just, like, the last sentence of my speech was, ride for me until the day I can ride alongside you. And at that point, that was just something that I put in my speech and I didn't really think much of. And then when the organization called us up and asked if I wanted to do this, I thought it would be a really cool thing to do and a really good way to exercise my legs so I can get walking again. And then when I actually got into the ride itself, then it kind of got more personal. They knew that I needed someone to ride with that was in the vicinity of where we were, so we could train. And they knew that Drew had ridden in the past, and so they called him and asked him, and then when he said yes, he called us, and then he came and met us, and we rode, and we started just maybe I think it was like 12 kilometers that we did the first day. And then from there we just got to do more and more, and we went to like 50 and then 70 and 80, and being at the Terry Fox Memorial was just...
I love this family. I love them all.
Putting my jersey on for the first time was an exciting thing because my mom wouldn't let me put it on until we got to the Terry Fox Memorial. And then just getting there was an even better thing. But then I didn't really feel the emotion from the memorial until I actually got to it and saw it and read the speeches on it and stuff. Going into the malls was so emotional, just with all the cheering and clapping, and just to know that this is like, it's all coming to you, and just taking it all in, it was something, it was so emotional. Knowing that I'm an inspiration to kids, to families, to grown-ups, to everyone around me is just such a great thing, because I know that I'm helping everyone, and every little bit that I say will potentially help to save someone's life or do something for someone. And just knowing that is a great thing.
When you see him like that every day, it doesn't really affect you, but like for other people seeing him, they think, oh, he's a poor kid in a wheelchair, but for me, it's my brother, so it doesn't really affect me that much. But going through this, he's inspired me a lot too.
When we did the stop in Burlington, there was a new family there that had just they were fresh into their son's diagnosis, and seeing the feeding tube down the nose, and that brought back a lot of memories for us. Having them there, seeing Josh ride in on a bike, seeing that the possibilities are there for being cured. That made us feel really good. Doing this ride, when we started the stop in Woodstock, there was a mother there with her daughter, and they got up and they started talking. She was giving her story, and when she started talking, I immediately knew that their daughter had a brain tumor because she was telling our story, and it brought back huge amounts of emotion for me. And Rena was standing on the other side of the crowd for me, and I could see that she was breaking down and I was breaking down, and just listening to this, it was bringing back way too many emotions. I didn't want to think about all the things that we had gone through. But knowing, again, when we saw that family in Burlington, you know, it was fantastic that they could see that the possibilities were there for a cure.
We're a very busy family to begin with. We do a lot of fundraising on our own for various charities. You know, we tried to get our kids involved in fundraising for anything in our community, for community involvement. But when the Coast to Coast came along, and for us it was just a fluke really to be involved with them. But once we got in there, like Josh said tonight, like it's like a one-way street. We can't back out now. We're headed in that direction. We just got to keep going. This foundation is incredible. The amount of money that they raise for pediatric cancer and research, it's phenomenal, and it really touches me deeply to be involved with an organization of this caliber. I can't say enough about it.
I just thank Coast to Coast for giving me and my family the opportunity to be a part of doing this whole thing, and just everyone else on my team and on other teams who supported me and coped or helped me to cope with all of the things that I had to overcome on the ride. And
You haven't seen the last of the Nelson family.